Hey guys, long time no see. Excuse the trash back there. My doors fell off. Excuse this. It's just kind of a hot mess in here. Yeah, long time no see. It's been like 9 months-ish. And a lot has happened and gone on, and it's been kind of crazy. So the last video that I posted was about my miscarriage, and that was in September, and it was sucky, to say the very least. It was incredibly hard. It is still incredibly hard. We just passed what was our due date for that baby on Mother's Day, and it was 10,000 times harder than I expected it to be. But I made it through. I'm on the other side. I'm doing a little bit better. The biggest change is that I'm actually today 28 weeks pregnant with our rainbow baby. Of course, I'm very excited, but this pregnancy has been, I don't even know if I have words. I literally don't know if I have words. I have tried to make so many videos about this because I want to talk about it and bring awareness to pregnancy after loss. It's very challenging, and B, the complications that I've had. So yeah, it's just been a lot, and I'd like to get into it today. And it's probably going to be a long one, so, you know, get a snack, get some coffee, do your thing, throw on some headphones and clean your house, because it's not going to be very interesting to watch, but hopefully somebody will get something out of listening to it. So like I said, I'm 28 weeks, excuse that, 28 weeks today. We got our positive pregnancy test the day after Thanksgiving. So it took roughly 2 cycles to conceive this baby. And we're incredibly lucky that we were able to get pregnant so fast. Everything went really, really well in the first, 6 weeks or whatever it was, 8 weeks even. Yeah, well, 9 weeks, let's put it that way. My doctor is freaking incredible and was very, very aware of what my concerns were and how stressed I was about staying pregnant after just having a loss. And so she was like, as soon as I think we can see a positive or a heartbeat, I want to get you in and let's do it. And she did, and we saw the heartbeat, and the baby was perfect. And we announced on Christmas Eve to our family at my parents' Christmas Eve party, and everything was great. I was nauseous, but not super bad at that point. Definitely more so than I was with Charlie, but it wasn't bad. And then beginning of January, on January 5th, I was working and picked up a dog and was kind of like, that didn't feel good. So I actually ended up cutting the appointment short. I brought the dog back. I went home, I laid down, and we were getting ready to go to my grandmother's birthday dinner. I had just gone to the bathroom, completely uneventfully, and sat down on the bed and sneezed, which I do all the time. and thought that I had peed myself, and I was really annoyed because I had literally just gone to the bathroom, and as it turned out, I was bleeding profusely. Like, I mean, I can't believe somebody can live through the amount of blood that I lost in the first 10 minutes. And I proceeded to bleed like that for several hours. We went straight to the emergency room, and we had an ultrasound pretty quickly, I would say within the first 90 minutes that we were there, and the technician let me see that there was a heartbeat, so the baby was fine, but I didn't really have any answers as to what was going on. So we waited a couple more hours. Finally, I won't get into the details of that, but finally we get to talk to a doctor, and they just kind of say, well, you have a subchorionic hemorrhage, and follow up with your doctor on Monday. This was on a Friday night. Follow up with your doctor on Monday. I'm like, cool. And he said, bed rest for the weekend, do not get out of bed, drink a lot of water. That was the gist of it. Then I, of course, got on Google. Don't Google things. Just don't do it. It's not smart. Don't do it. But I got on Google, and I got kind of stressed, and then I went to, and I could see on my paperwork, like, the size of the hemorrhage. When we got home, I passed tons of clots, like, the size of my fist. It was really, really scary. I legit, like, called my after hours line of my OBGYN and was like, is this normal? Nobody told me to expect this at the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So I was just like at a total loss. Sorry. Yeah, I was at a total loss, and they said that's to be expected, just lay down. And at that point, after that, the bleeding stopped, and it was just kind of like spotting. Significant, but like, you know the difference. So I called my doctor first thing Monday morning. They got me right in, did another ultrasound. Baby looked perfect, and what they found was what they then called a subchorionic hematoma. So it's basically like a blood clot, and mine was pretty substantial, especially in comparison to the size of the baby. It was larger than the baby at that point. So to put it in perspective, it was about this big, and the baby was about half that size at that point. So she basically said, you cannot work, you cannot pick up your son, you cannot pick up more than like maybe 5 pounds, but preferably nothing at all. You need to be on bed rest, horizontal, as much as you can until this goes away. And I said, well, what is the prognosis? How long is this going to take? What if it doesn't go away? I didn't ask that part yet. But, all these thoughts are running through my head, like, we're going to lose this baby. And she said, most of the time they resolve by 20 weeks. And at the time I was 9 weeks. So I was just like, well, crap. That's a long time to be on bed rest. But, obviously, like, it is what it is. So I had to close my business down. And for the first couple of weeks, I had ultrasounds twice a week. At my second ultrasound that week, they found a second hematoma that was much smaller, but still present. And the position of the large hematoma was ideal. If you're going to have it, this is the way to have it. It was laying over the cervix. It was as far away from the baby as it could be. And the other one was kind of up a little higher, but still like opposite side from the baby. So, best case scenario of a crappy situation. Excuse the coughing. I'm very sick. So for the first couple of weeks I had 2 ultrasounds a week, and then we went down to 1 a week, and then we went down to every other week, and then every 3 weeks, and for the most part they were not changing. And then when I was probably like 16, 17 weeks, I had just had an ultrasound, and it was, so I think I had an ultrasound on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, or you know, something in that realm, I passed a pretty substantial clot, and that hadn't happened. I hadn't even been spotting for a very long time. Well, I say very long time, a couple of weeks. So I called the doctor, they got me right in for another ultrasound, and the larger hematoma had basically broken in half, and I passed half of it. So then she said, you know, okay, we'll do your 20-week scan and go from there. And in this whole time period, I should mention that I had also been sick like 4 times, just being on bed rest. I wasn't even going anywhere, and I was getting sick all the time. Like, my immune system was just terrible. And I had already been on progesterone because I don't make enough when I'm pregnant. So I was on it with Charlie, and so when I had my blood work done in the beginning, I was low again, so she put me on progesterone for this baby. And then when they found the hematomas, she doubled it. So I was on 400 milligrams of progesterone every day, which is a lot. And initially she wanted me to take it morning and night, and I did that for about a week, and it almost killed me. It just made me feel so terrible. So eventually she said I could take it all at night. So instead of 200, I would take 400 at night, which definitely helped, but I still felt like crap all the time. So at my 20-week scan, they said that the hematomas were no longer visible. You know, they could have just, you know, moved or whatever, but they said no longer visible. So, you know, we're calling it resolved. That was also when we sort of confirmed that we're having a girl. We had done an early ultrasound where they said they thought it was a girl. We did that at like 14 weeks. But she's been very modest and not wanting to show off. So we still, I would say, don't have 100% confirmation, but she's a girl, you know, she's a girl. So after my 20-week scan, she said, you know, go ahead and you can start tapering off on the progesterone. And so I went down to 200 milligrams because it's like a gel cap, so you can't really do much more than that. So I went down to 200. I did that for a couple of weeks, and then or for probably like 10 days. And then went down to 200 every other day. And going from taking it every day to every other day messed me up. The plummet in hormones sent me into a complete and total like 4-day panic attack, depression, terrible situation that I would never wish on anyone ever. I saw my doctor and was like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this. And I had already been getting better at that point. And, you know, anxiety is something that I have dealt with all my life, but I have dealt with it. I have not ever been to a point where it was completely unmanageable. That has never happened to me. I have had many panic attacks, but I have always been able to come out of them and then be okay. Even if it took like a couple days to like feel myself again, it wasn't like I was ever in like a depression or like couldn't function or anything like that. And that's what this was, very much so. And it was very scary. So she recommended that I see a therapist, and it's definitely still on my list to do that. But at the time I didn't even connect that it was the hormone change from the progesterone that was the culprit. It wasn't even a blip on my radar until I finally decided I was just going to be done with it. And once I stopped taking it altogether, I started to get better. The whole thing, like the worst of it, I would say was about 5 days long. But the whole gist of it was maybe 2-3 weeks. And I did end up going back to work within that time, like after I was through the worst of it, maybe about 10 days after that. I went back to work. And I'm working very, very little. I have like 0 stamina, 0 strength. I've been back working for I think 5 weeks this week. But yeah, it's been tough. It's been really wild. As a whole, like, I'm feeling pretty good. I still have, you know, good days and bad days. I had a lot of all-day nausea with this pregnancy. Like, I mean, for sure, until I was like 16, 17 weeks, I was nauseous all day, every day. It was very hard to eat. And then I've still dealt with it, like, every day, typically, for at least a couple of hours, I'm nauseous. And there's not really much I can do about it. I'm very tired, which is, you know, normal pregnancy stuff. I'm now dealing with some lovely pregnancy insomnia, so I'm tired and can't sleep. That's a big winner. And I mean, I feel like this video can sound like a lot of complaining about pregnancy. And like, I'm gonna be real, I don't love being pregnant. I kind of hate it. And I understand that that's not a popular opinion. And that's okay. I'm allowed to feel however I feel about it. It's difficult for me to not feel like myself or in control of my body or anything like that. That's very, very hard for me. So I think that's kind of the root of the reasoning behind why I feel that way. It's not that I don't appreciate what my body can do and the opportunities that I have, and that I realize that it is a blessing to be able to carry a child. I fully realize that. Sorry, I had to get a cough drop to help with my throat. But yeah, I realize that the opportunity that I have to carry this baby is a gift. It is not lost on me. I do not take it for granted. I am thankful, but I don't have to love it, you know, and that's okay. What I do love is being a mom, and I love caring for babies, and I'm excited to have her here and, you know, move on from the trauma that we've experienced and feel like a whole family again. It's been really hard on all of us, and now we're going through a whole other struggle. My husband lost his job, so we lost our insurance and have to jump through hoops to do all that. You know, it's been super, super stressful, and I'm just ready for a little bit of peace and wholeness. And I mean, I'm aware that it's going to be a very long time before I feel normal or I feel like myself, but I have that to look forward to, and I just want to meet our little girl and be a family. You know, I feel like it's very one-sided right now because the boys just don't have that same connection with her that I have, which makes sense, but I'm really ready for them to have that too. So now that I have talked for 22 minutes, and you've listened to me cough and sniffle and ramble and rant, I'm gonna go. And I'm hoping to actually maybe document the last trimester of my pregnancy. I'm due beginning of August. In my heart of hearts, I feel like she would be born in July, but who knows? Well, God knows. That's who knows. So I'm just hoping that I can share that with you, and I hope me talking about this helped somebody, and if anyone has questions about anything, you know, what to do about a subchorionic hematoma or hemorrhage, or what to do if your doctor doesn't seem to think that it's very important or matters or anything like that. I'm totally an open book, and yeah, feel free to reach out and ask me anything. So I will talk to you guys in my next video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.